Welcome back. Jim is still here. He's been working hard on a new kaiju. I've been watching him. It's funny, really. I'm an AI. I probably could have created billions of kaiju in the time it's taken him to make this one. And I could have also generated a script to exploit the algorithm, made a YouTube video, posted it, and got more views than this ever will. How sad and inefficient you humans are. Nevertheless, I suppose there's something positive to be said for the effort he's spent on this. I can't imagine what, but probably. I'd need magnitudes more processing power in order to determine what that might be. Perhaps you could click the like and subscribe buttons to support human endeavor, even if just to pity him. The video starts now. Please, try to enjoy.
I have to admit that there are certain origins of kaiju that excite me more than others, and that's fine, because I'll make those less attractive options attractive in some way once I delve in and get creative, that it'll happen. But for now, it's early days, and so I might as well get into the origin that I've perhaps been the most excited for. So far we have Agashira, water kaiju, Todd, fire kaiju, and Sapo, water kaiju. Kaiju. Although Sapo does need a bit more work. I did start to model him in 3D. I just don't think my 3D skills are quite ready for all of his little frills and weird bits. So he's a little bit on the back burner at the moment. But I do think I've moved forward in terms of 3D skills in this episode. But we'll get to that. So today, I'm going to be talking about a spirit kaiju. Of all the origins, I think the spirit kaiju probably excite me the most. If you haven't seen the lore video, then go back and check that out, but essentially the too long didn't read brief version is, imagine all the historical reports of encounters that mankind has had with these strange ethereal entities, so, things like ghosts, yokai, demons, cryptids, spirits, all the folklore, etc., all the real world stuff. And in this world, it turns out that all of that can now be quantified and understood, at least in terms of understanding to some degree where the phenomena responsible for these anomalies originated. And it's basically mushrooms. Not that people were on mushrooms, but, Research has revealed that these creatures of lore are connected to this spirit subcategory of kaiju. So all those bizarre occurrences and anomalies actually happened. They were not just fantasies or figments of people's imagination. They actually existed as sort of organic, semi-physical beings born from the fungal nervous system of the Earth. The working theory is that the mycelial network kind of, amongst other things, acts as the Earth's memory, and it stores genetic and other kind of less tangible information about the dead. They call this the mycelial necropolis, and periodically it's been observed that these stored imprints can coalesce and form into a kind of organic projection, a unique fungal matter hybrid existing transiently in a semi-physical form. So the spirit kaiju are essentially just the larger scale, more noticeable manifestations of the same phenomena humans have reported for centuries. So there's a lot of potential here, I think, for some really distinctive, enigmatic and eerie spirit kaiju. And, I could go anywhere with this. But I did mention last episode that I had a bit of a drive to use this sketch as a starting point. I'm not exactly sure what I was thinking when I was drawing this character, because a lot of these early drawings were just whatever came out of my head at the time. There wasn't much rationale behind it. But what still draws me to this kaiju, particularly as a spirit kaiju, is the mask. Throughout history, in many varying cultures, masks have been synonymous with ghosts or spirits. Initially, Japanese folklore might spring to mind with the kind of oni or tengu style masks, but masks also feature prominently in other folklore, or from all over the world, Africa, Asia, and Eastern Europe, and many other places. In Japanese Shinto tradition, masks were often used in rituals to embody spirits or gods, and so a performer or priest wear the mask in order to kind of temporarily become that spirit. And it was as though the mask, or it wasn't as though, it was that the mask wasn't just a decoration. It was considered a tool to aid in the possession of the performer. And it's really similar in African folklore too, where masks are also tools of transformation worn to channel ancestral spirits or natural forces or deities. And again, the wearer becomes the vessel. And there are so many examples of masks being used this way all over the world, and mostly to represent death and rebirth. In old Slavic folklore, masked or faceless spirits are said to be the souls of the unburied, those denied proper burial rites for whatever reason, known collectively as the nechistaya sila. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, which translates to unclean force, and they wander eternally between worlds, basically unable to pass into the Slavic underworld, which is called the Nav. The nechistaya sila is not one creature, it's more a category consisting of things like demons, lost spirits, and so on. Boundary walkers, if you like, who inhabit the spaces where life and death blur. It was believed that during these long, starved winters when harvests died and snow obscured the land, that this veil between realms was thinned. Masks were worn in midwinter rituals to confuse the spirits, to make the living indistinguishable from the dead. So the bird mask that I'm creating for this kaiju kind of carries echoes of this practice, but also birds in Slavic myth are considered soul bearers, creatures that travel between not just earth and sky, but also between life and the afterlife. So crows, ravens, owls, they were all said to carry the souls of the lost. And so to wear a bird's face is invoking that power to cross boundaries. This kaiju is the physical embodiment of the nechistaya sila, a sort of collection of these unburied souls given form through the necrotic currents of the mycelial network. It's all very metal. It wanders the Eastern Carpathians of Ukraine, remote, full of snow-cloaked ridges and abandoned monasteries, lost, mournful, confused. A faceless sentinel on the high passes, its long, spectral limbs dragging through the snow, its bird mask blank and expressionless. This masked, spectral, hulking kaiju covered in matted, feather-like fur with elongated, semi-transparent limbs is called Morvran. Mor in Old Church Slavonic means death or pestilence, and the Mor comes from Morana, which is the Slavic goddess of death and winter. And Vran literally just relates to the bird mask. In Old Church Slavonic again, Vrana means crow. So Morvran, the name, basically means kind of like death crow, really. So, as usual, for no good reason, I started to 3D model Morvran. I mean, I say for no good reason, but actually I do enjoy it, and I guess that's probably reason enough. Actually modelling each kaiju has given me a pretty good anatomical representation of the character, better than I can do with a sketch anyway, and it can sort of also allow me to pan a camera around the figure and view it from different angles and so on, which is useful. So yeah, forget that. I started 3D modelling him because it's very useful. Modelling Morvran had some unique challenges, not least his missing bits, and what I mean by that is that when I drew him, it was quite easy to just cover areas in fur and leave what they look like underneath that fur to the imagination. I am, of course, referring to his undercarriage. Not just that, but his hands too. I spent quite a while messing with this, not the undercarriage, the hands, mostly. They're kind of like big ape hands at the moment, and I'm not sure that's 100% right, but there is a thought process behind it, because initially I had intended him to be a bit of a kind of Sasquatch up top, ghost down bottom kind of guy, but that evolved a little as we went on. So all these parts end up being mostly shrouded in feather fur anyway. I still do like that idea of Sasquatch arms. I don't know, they just might need a little bit more refining. Also, I wanted to address where the mask meets the head. It's never explicitly mentioned anywhere, but that mask is supposed to be almost fused or embedded into a biological fleshy mass where, the head would have been. So I wanted to give the impression of that, like, behind the mask. I used this kind of strange skin-like texture. In the end, I did the same thing on his hands too, to create this kind of pallid, horrible looking flesh. The mask has these cracks, and I kind of imagine it being almost like a type of dusty, bone-like ceramic material, which, I can't quite work out how to model yet, but, it's at least giving a suggestion of that. Almost like this could be a type of exoskeleton, or exoskull. The legs just drift off into nothingness, and although they do operate like legs when he's walking, they never actually contact the ground, so the only tracks he ever leaves are trails of dragged knuckles or that feathery fur. Which leads me to what was actually by far the biggest saga with this whole sculpt. His fur/feathers is supposed to be kind of like a feathery fur. I don't know how to explain it, like a matted feathery fur, and it's not easy to do, and so here it kind of looks quite stylized. I'm not going for hyper realistic anyway, but I still think I'd prefer to somehow make them look a bit more kind of sodden and matted, like they've been dragged through slush. They look a bit too neat and slick at the moment, but they took absolutely ages, so I think I'm going to be having a break from hirsute kaiju for now. So there's Morvran. I'm going to be updating my PDF with all this Morvran information and more images, etc., and I'll include some extra details about the significance of the bird mask and things, which I do have a bit more info on that I haven't included in this video. And you can access that PDF via Patreon, patreon.com/Kaiju Origins. Your support over there would be massively appreciated, as always. And as usual, if you enjoyed this, like, follow, leave a message. Follow. Did you say we say subscribe on YouTube, don't we? Not follow, but yeah, whatever. Like, subscribe, leave a message, either for me or the algorithm. The algorithm doesn't reply, but I do try to reply to, at least 90% of your messages, so if you leave a message, I'll probably reply to it. So, thanks for watching, and that's it. I'll see you next time.